I'm not sure what to do. I'm not sure if I should buy a Galaxy S8. And the reason why is because as nice as it looks, as stunning as those bezels or lack of bezels are, and the Snapdragon 835 and Bluetooth 5 and USB-C and fancy camera, as great as the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus look, it's this that makes me wonder and question whether I should go out and buy it and pay £689 for it. This is the S7, and it is a fantastic phone. When I reviewed this last year, I was incredibly impressed by it. And for most people, I suspect this is probably considered the phone of the year for 2016, except perhaps maybe the Google Pixel towards the end of the year. No doubt a fantastic phone, brilliant camera. But over the course of the year, I found this has got a lot slower. The battery's got worse, things just take a little bit longer to open, it just chugs a bit, falls over itself. As I say, battery barely gets me through a full day now. And while the Android 7 update did help, compared to when it launched last year, it is a lot slower, and the battery life is not as good. Is it TouchWiz, infamous TouchWiz, which everyone knows is a bit of a system hog? Is it Samsung phones? Is it the issue with Android? Are all Android phones like this? And that's to the point where I've started swapping to different phones when they've come in for review and actually really enjoyed using them. The Huawei P10, for example, I've swapped to this. It's so much faster. And whether this is just because it's a new phone, probably is the case, but the battery's better, it's faster, it's more responsive, and that's why I'm not sure whether I should go out and buy a Galaxy S8, because it may be great for the first few months, but is it just going to get slow again in 6 months' time when the Pixel 2 comes out? Am I going to want to jump ship to that because the S8 started getting a bit laggy and unresponsive on me? Now, I'm not the only one, I don't think, who thinks this, and do let me know if you agree in the comments or you've experienced similar things. But I recently read an article from a CNET editor who said that this exact reason is why he won't be buying the S8, as great as it looks, as powerful as it is. It's just from prior experience of the S6 and the S7, he, and I agree, have just found that the S7 and Samsung phones just don't last as long as you would like. And the problem is, if you went out and bought, say, a OnePlus 3T, that's sort of £350, £400. If in a year's time it does get a bit slow or a bit unresponsive, you know, it's not great, but you haven't paid an absolute fortune for it. I say absolute fortune, $550 for when the S7 came out. Now the S8 is about $680. Now what will be interesting is the Pixel and how that stock Android phone from Google themselves performs over a long period of time. So I'm really looking forward to revisiting the Pixel in 6 months, in 12 months, to see whether that performance, whether that responsiveness of UI has been maintained. And the other issue is with Samsung is they're really slow to get updated. This was only updated to Android 7 Nougat about 6 weeks ago, about a month before the launch of its replacement, which isn't particularly good at all. And that's a good reason why you may want to consider a stock Android phone like the Pixel. But hopefully, fingers crossed, there is some hope for the Galaxy S8. Not only is it running the latest hardware, whether it's the Exynos 8895 or Snapdragon 835 processor, more powerful, more efficient, but it also comes running Android 7 Nougat out of the box. And I did find Android 7 to be quite a big upgrade for the S7, and hopefully it's a bit more well optimized for the S8. But the bigger thing for me is the fact that Samsung has kind of dropped the TouchWiz, well, at least the name, from their user interface, from their skin on top of Android. They're just calling it basically their UX, the Samsung UX. So hopefully their new software, the new UX, will run a bit better, will have better longevity. So I will of course be reviewing the S8 completely impartially. I'll give you my thoughts on it when it comes out, and I will have one right here, and I'll be thoroughly testing it, comparing it versus the S7, comparing it versus the OnePlus 3T and phones like that. So hopefully I can come back in 6 months and be like, yeah, it's still an incredible phone, still super fast, no problems there. I just thought I'd make this quick to camera piece, basically sharing my experience with the S7 and how it's not quite as good as it used to be. And maybe that should be something to consider if you've got your mouse or your finger over that pre-order button on the S8. But let me know in the comments below whether you've had similar things with your phone, whether the performance has got worse, the camera's taken a bit longer, battery life's got a bit rubbish over time. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and do subscribe and stay tuned because I will be having that big S8 review as well as these comparisons coming very soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.